Thank you so much for joining me for this release focused flow. We're going to go ahead and get started in our tabletop. If we take the hands under the shoulders and the knees just under the hips, we're just going to start with some barrel rolls. So breathing in, we're going to roll the chest forwards and down, lifting the tailbone. And then as we exhale, we're going to roll the chest all the way up, lifting the spine, tucking the chin. Inhaling, rolling everything down with the exhale, pressing the spine all the way up. Keeping that movement going with your own breathing rhythm, taking any little rolls of the head and the neck, maybe checking in with the wrists and all the little muscles, ligaments and tendons through the feet. If we take that back the other way, so rolling forwards on the inhale, and with the exhale, lifting the spine, pressing the breath back out. When everything feels a little bit more familiar, we're going to come back to our neutral spine. So pressing down through the hands, here we go. We're going to step the right foot forwards, and sometimes sliding the left foot back a little bit makes it feel a little bit more comfortable. Breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. We get to stay right here, right? Finding a little bit of lift through the chest in our lizard pose. We can always come down onto the forearms, maybe tucking the chin and just allowing the head to hang. The final option is going to be to see about reaching the hands forwards and allowing the hips to melt down towards the mat. Seeing which feels the absolute best, and that's where we're going to stay, taking a really deep inhale in through the nose, filling the belly and releasing a full exhale. And with the next inhale, meeting with the palms flat to the floor, we're going to turn the right toes out towards the right. So they're on a little bit of a diagonal here, rooting down through the left hand. As we inhale, we're going to sweep the right arm all the way up and over behind, reaching back through the fingertips. Breathing in deeply. As we exhale, we're going to take the hand back to the front. Inhaling, sweeping it up and behind. Exhaling, taking it back to the front. As we inhale, we're going to reach back. With the exhale, taking that back to the front. 2 more rounds. Breathing in, reaching. Exhaling, returning to the front, and then with the inhale, sweeping the hand back, maybe staying here for just one deep inhale. Exhaling, taking that hand back, and from here we're going to extend the right leg long, sinking the hips back, and we're making our way into a variation of our Hanumanasana. So it's our half monkey here. We can always allow that right foot to slide forwards, or maybe the left foot to slide back, but finding a place where you can feel that big release all through the back of the right leg. And we want to keep the left knee grounded for this one. So finding that place where you can maybe see about tucking the chin, allowing that last little bit of length to be drawn all through the back of the neck, maybe a little shake of the head. And then from here, if we lift the head on the inhale, we're going to make our way down into our half reclined hero. So for this, we're going to slide the right foot forwards, landing the hips, and the left foot just comes outside of the left hip. So if I turn around to show you this one, we're going to allow the hips to land, keeping the left foot out to the side. If it feels really intense across the front line of the left leg, we can always sit on a block. But if we find a place that feels reasonably comfortable, we're going to take the hands behind, and as we inhale, we're going to lift the chest and just allow the head to sink back to a place that's somewhat comfortable. Breathing in deeply, lifting on the inhale with the exhale, just allowing all the muscles across the front of the left leg to slowly lengthen and release. And if it feels comfortable, we can always come down onto the forearms. So maybe reclining back to a place that's a little bit deeper. We want to make sure the left knee stays grounded. And if it's possible, maybe finding a place where you can take the shoulders and the head all the way down to the floor. Maybe closing down the eyes. With every exhale, just allowing all the muscles through the quads and the hip flexors and maybe the core to slowly, slowly lengthen with every exhale. If we take one more really deep breath here. We're going to take ourselves to a place where we can press down through the elbows, lifting all the way back up. And if we take the left foot out in front, landing the feet, maybe taking the hands back to the mat, coming back through our tabletop, we're going to take that all over to the other side. So if we step the left foot forwards, we're finding our way back into our lizard pose, but on the other side, right? So maybe sliding the right foot back a little bit, and we've got all those same options, right? So maybe finding a little bit of lift, allowing the right hip to sink down. We can always come down onto the forearms, and maybe just allowing the head to hang, taking a little shake at the bottom. That final option, creeping the hands forwards, finding a place where you can allow the hips to melt down towards the floor, but finding the variation that feels the best. Breathing in deeply and taking one more really deep inhale. With the next exhale, we're going to find a place where we can land the palms. And as we inhale, we're going to sweep the left arm all the way up and over behind. Exhaling, taking it back to the front. With the inhale, we're going to reach all the way back. Exhaling, taking that hand back to the front. With the inhale, we're lifting back. And with the exhale, taking the left hand back to the front, taking two more. Inhaling, reaching. Exhaling, taking the left hand back. And now for this final one, as we inhale, reaching back, maybe staying for one extra really deep breath. Taking the left hand all the way back to the front, and from here we can see about extending the left leg long, finding our way back to that variation of Hanumanasana, our half Hanuman, that feels the best. So maybe the left foot slides forwards a little bit, right? Maybe that right knee slides back, but we want to keep the right knee grounded here, tucking the chin, finding length all through the back line of the left leg. And from here, with the next exhale, we're going to slide the right knee forwards so we can take the right foot just outside of the right hip. Finding that starting place, taking the hands behind, lifting the chest. And maybe this is where we stay, right? We've always got that option to take a block under the hips. That's going to give us a little bit of lift. Taking the hands behind, and maybe with a big inhale, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting the chest and allowing the head to come back to a place that's somewhat comfortable. Breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. Maybe coming all the way down onto the forearms, seeing what feels the best. I take my blocks out to the side here so I can sink back a little deeper, and we're checking in to make sure that right knee stays landed, right? So sometimes it feels a little different from one side to the other. That's absolutely fine. Maybe finding that place where you can take the shoulders and the head all the way down to the floor. But sometimes you come down and you feel like, oh, actually, it felt a little bit better with a lift. So if that's the case, you get to come in and out as much as feels good. And when you find that place where it feels the best, we're going to take one last really deep inhale there. And then pressing down through the elbows, maybe the forearms, maybe the hands are going to lift back up. Taking that right foot back out in front. And from here, we're going to head down onto the back. So resting the head and the shoulders down, we've got the option for one final release pose to take a block, placing it just under the hips. And we're going to find our way into our waterfall pose. So maybe just drawing the knees into the chest, right? That's going to be the first step. Allowing the block to be that thing that gives you that little bit of lift. So we don't really need to squeeze the core. We're just allowing everything to fall into the most comfortable place. The second option is going to be to see about lifting the feet and maybe taking a little wriggle of the toes and the ankles, allowing any tension there to slowly ease, breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. And sometimes keeping a little bend at the knees is that thing that feels the best, right? Or maybe adding a little bit of movement, finding a little bicycle at the legs, or allowing the legs to hang wide, finding that big stretch all through the insides, wherever you found yourself. We're going to take one last really deep inhale. And as we exhale, taking the feet back down towards the floor. If we lift the hips and slide the block out, we've got the option here to take the soles of the feet together and just allow the knees to fall out to the sides. And once again, you can use the blocks here to support the legs. So if you tuck the blocks just underneath the legs, that usually gives that extra little support. That means the inner thighs can just relax a little bit quicker. Taking the hands either down by the sides or maybe just resting them on the chest. Closing down the eyes and finding a few moments here to be still.